Welcome to today's collective reading. This is TrinityGaiaOracle. Trying a new setup here. We'll see if this ends up working out well. All right. So a lot has been happening. I can tell you that. A lot. You guys have been very, very busy. I've been feeling the shifts in the collective and the energy, and it's time to do a reading for you guys, to give you an update, to give you some insight. There's questions, clarifications, and I trust the divine to guide me through that. Oh, okay. So, first oracle card that we have that's come out here is the Oracle. Let's make sure you guys can see this well here. Number 13, which breaks to a 4, it's foundational. The look on her face kind of reminds me of when I'm getting like an intuitive download and I know something's up, and I'm just kind of going, there's more here, isn't there, that meets the eye. Very interesting. Let's see what else we have here. A very playful kitty in the background here. Do we have any more supporting oracle here? Oh, clarifying with the elements. Okay. All right, so let's do Earth. What do we have coming through for Earth? Okay, for Earth, we have 43, Sisterhood of Reciprocity. Okay, so grounding this into the physical, it's going to be a collaboration. Collaboration. Okay, they just want me to straight pull for all 4. All right, so we have, that's Earth, and we're going to do getting air. What do we have for air? Ooh, okay then. One landed on my arm. We have 28, Failures Muse. This came out in the last reading, possibly the one before that. So this is what you know, and this is for the same collective. So this is timelines. This is all the things that didn't go right so that you could be in this moment living what goes exactly right. Like the troubleshooting that has been going on through all the timelines, you're on the successful one that brings you to the destination, the wish fulfillment, the joy, the happiness that your heart has been calling out to the divine for. Okay, it's too many there. I will say I know the card, I saw it, and it's one where someone was trying, like they were taking your sight from you and then putting you down for it. So you have an energy, a karmic, a contract, a oppressor that has been removed. You've removed this. I'm not going to say that you've done it alone, but you were that last piece. It was time for you to own it, and when you did, it became official, and those hands that had eyes painted on them, placed over your eyes, were removed so you could see with your actual sight. This is going to be for fire, just to clarify that. This is going to be for your will. Oh, okay. So we have number 17, the Scholar. You have a very strong desire to not only learn this or have learned this, but to pass on that knowledge, to document it, to I have the Dreamer come out there. This one's for water. Dreamer. So this is like astral travel, telepathy, dream space, definitely. It's pretty much, to me, anything that has to do with what is unseen and unknown. Accumulation of knowledge. You've learned so much, and the energies around you that you've collaborated with, that have learned from you, have learned so much. So you're grounding this into the physical, where you know that you're not alone. And this will become something that's more and more apparent as time goes through, as you move further and further into alignment with those that you're co-creating with. And you will see the truth of them. And they will know that. And it won't be something that's so heavy on you. Because at the top of the deck, we have the Wonder Hunter. I almost said the Wondrous Hunter. This is you just rising above it and enjoying all these beautiful new beginnings. Even though you have all these jealous, blah, 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 negative things below you. You've elevated beyond it. You're riding Rudolph. You're good. You got Rudolph on your side. And at the bottom, we have 19, Alchemist of Pain. This has not been an easy experience. You haven't just alchemized your pain. You have alchemized pain for everyone you're co-creating with, because you had a piece of the puzzle that they needed to heal, so they were in pain while you were realizing your mastery of your piece of the puzzle. And it's time. All the other pieces have fallen into place for you to be able to receive clearly what you're meant to know, and it be between you and Source, you and the divine, however you choose to relate to that. Each of us has a very personal relationship with that. All right, let's see what we have coming through for receptive energy. What does your spirit team, the divine, want you guys to know in particular? Going deeper into this, this is all about your ability, your willingness to be open to learning in spite of all of the setbacks, in spite of all of the obstacles. You have found a way. You and those you have co-created with. There's two wolves in this picture, and they have a mixture of both white and black color in their fur with degrees of gray in between. These are balanced energies that have been guiding you and are still guiding you. And she has this kind of like, look to her, if you notice that. So it's like she would literally have no idea where to go. I have a feeling that it's almost like she just doesn't have the same level of senses that the wolves do. And she's aware of her vulnerability. And they're aware of it as well. And they're protective of her. There's a purity as well. And when I use gendered language like that, please definitely hear receptive energy. What are you receptive to? What are you open to experiencing? How are you identifying with being open to something that you don't fully understand? Yet you know you're being guided by energies that are balanced, even when you don't understand and you just can't cope with not understanding. They're still there for you because they are balanced. I'd like the collective to know here for the receptive energy for this reading. Ooh, that one did a little flip. So we have 4 of Cups. Okay, this is traditionally, it's the card of looking at what you kind of feel guilty, saddened, ashamed, disappointed. Being honest with yourself about those things and allowing yourself to really look at them, but question whether or not you're dwelling. We have the 9 of Wands here, pairing with that, and that makes perfect sense. We have the Alchemist of Pain at the bottom of the Oracle deck. That makes perfect sense. This has not been, all lollipops and bunnies and rainbows. It's been some heavy stuff. Allowing yourself to look at the things that trigger you so that they don't trigger you anymore. Thus, they do not control what you create with your will. It's not easy looking at all that. There can still be some elements of PTSD present. And with that PTSD element to it, you're at the point where the way to heal that is to actually know that you're supported. To not only have that coming through in more of a psychic sense, but actually seeing it in your physical reality allows all of you to fully ground this mastery into reality and know that you really have you've elevated above the energies that would like to keep you bogged down. They simply can't reach you. Okay. Is there anything else you would like the collective to know here? You know, as they go through this process of beginning to be open to maybe the world not being such a heavy experience. Okay, we have a Two of Swords, crossroads energy. Sense of someone watching. Let's see the card here. Kind of gloomy, but there is an individual observing, watching, waiting, curious as to what you will choose to do and how you will choose to move. It's not their own reflection, though they do see themselves. We have the King of Wands here. Lion, Leo energy, easily with that lion. And I get Captain Morgan for some reason with that one foot up, and it's the right foot that he has stepping up. So he's acting assertively with that wand from the left side draping over that right foot that's stepping up. He's assertively acting to create receptivity. Oh, first time that's really, and you see this light coming down. This is divine guidance. This King of Wands knows something, and it's not from a false light. This is golden light energy. This is balanced. So he knows. He, being an assertive energy, and yes, this is definitely something that's going on within you, but it's definitely being observed. So it's going on either like an individual's higher self is observing you, but the sense of the knowing coming down into this King of Wands. This is coming into the physical, this assertive masculine energy, whether they're a man or a woman, doesn't matter. We all have both energies in us. They know. They know how you're moving and why. And they're choosing to be receptive. Then we have the Two of Cups. There's a little more here. The King of Pentacles. Okay, one more because he's looking to his left. And then we have the Hierophant. What a beautiful confirmation. So this is the Two of Cups. It's definitely going to speak to a couple. A romantic aspect, definitely. If this is resonating for you, then yes. But it can also be friendship. It can be soul contract. It can be soulmate. Maybe not necessarily something as intense as twin flame, but and I personally do not prefer to use that title. I prefer to call it Master Soul versus twin flame, but most people understand what the lore is behind twin flame. And the reason why I make that distinction, because I've consistently gotten it from divine, from truth, that there's this misconception in the collective because of karmic energy that if they believe something to be true and they speak it into being, and they spread that word and everybody speaks that into being. Well, then if you happen into this and you use the word and you're not aware of any of it, that somehow you've agreed to it. And that just, no, excuse me, I bumped the mic there. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. If you want to believe that's how it works, then you're creating that. But you don't have to believe that. You don't have to believe that at all. I prefer to go with Master Soul because you have two halves of a soul here. Okay. All right. You have two souls that are choosing to create one beautiful existence, and they're both masters, and they're choosing one another to co-create with. They're made of the same soul stuff. If it was one soul at one time, they've learned so much that the only way to learn more would be to separate into two separate incarnated beings to rediscover one another and authentically experience all of themselves from an observer perspective as well as an insider perspective. That's why I prefer to do the master side of things, because it's a rebellion. It's a rebellion. I'm a rebel. I don't know, I'm shuffling this. Interesting. Oh, that's why. They wanted me to have the Six of Swords at the top and the World at the bottom. Your world is definitely going somewhere that's a lot less tumultuous. This is definitely going somewhere better. Both sides of this dynamic have a very different way of praying, relating, communicating. One is more intuitive, the other is more logical, yet they both are able to tap into the opposite within them and are balanced. This moment has been co-created, it has been wished for, it has been prayed upon. If any part of you is wondering whether or not this particular aspect to this reading is something that is reciprocated, this card allows you to put a check mark in the side of, yes, you're not alone in wanting this. I once had a friend tell me something, and it really rang true. And it was something about, someone I really cared about at some point, and I was just not so sure if we were on the same page or if they knew, because they just didn't seem to quite be picking up what I was putting down. And they said to me, they're like, feelings like what you have do not develop when it's only one-sided. They develop because it is something that is felt on both sides and given to on both sides. Now, I'm not going to say that time doesn't happen and people don't grow and they don't evolve and things don't kind of change sometimes, because they do. So the biggest challenge in any relationship is growing together. But this reading is for someone who has followed you from lifetime to lifetime. They have gone through all the timelines. They may have been present to some extent, soul-wise, soul cluster, soul tribe. They may have been present in every single individual that you've ever dated to some extent. They were learning just as you were. It's all the timelines where things did not work. And you're living the timeline where you don't have to worry about it not working so much, because you know it'll work out even when things seem precarious. Even when the guidance you're getting is, are you sure you want me to do this? This sounds kind of like final. And when the guidance is to not be receptive, it's kind of a challenge. And that challenge may be the very thing that the other side needs in order to step up, in order to choose to assertively, with this paw, right foot, to assertively step into the future and choose to manifest being receptive to the information coming in. And that's paired with the Two of Swords, so that's crossroads energy. Be receptive is It's possibly something that's incredibly rare for this individual. They don't do it lightly. And it's because when they look to their divine, their relationship with Source, if you want to call it the matrix, if you like, however you prefer to label that, do place that there. We have this assertive, masculine King of Pentacles energy looking to his left. And we have a feminine Hierophant here. This individual sees now the divinity, the truth present in a feminine aspect, the receptive energy of the divine, the wisdom and the strength present within, honoring that part within themselves and seeing its strength outside of themselves. As this relates to you, these are things that you've been working with as well. Like, what are you receptive to? What are you willing to invest in your physical reality that cultivates a safe space for this receptive divine energy to speak to you, to make space for that? And it's not lost on me that we have two possums here. Possums are very good at playing dead when they're really alive. Sometimes the guidance is to appear as though there's an ending when really there's not. And you have to trust your intuition. You have to trust this guidance because you have nothing else at times to hold on to. This has been a very challenging lesson in this lifetime for you. I mean, it would be for anyone. You are incredibly strong. Many, many people would not have been able to get through this point. So you may be feeling lonely because you have this coming into the physical. It implies that either you're not experiencing it now or you're beginning to experience the beginnings of this. You may feel alone. You may feel isolated. You may feel misunderstood by everyone. And people may choose intentionally to misunderstand you, just to be difficult. Because just because you've gotten through this doesn't mean you get to lower your guard and let these honed skills that you've developed in your intuition to just not be kept sharp. Individuals and energies may still choose to keep you on your toes. They may come to you in the face of a friend, but in reality, they're jealous. And they will sow seeds of discontent in those around you to help them perceive you in a less than authentic light. Wow, that's interesting that Divine really wants me to speak to that. It's clear that you don't get to really lower your guard. Keep your eyes open now that you've been able to, you've won the battle to have them opened. Keep them open. Learn, study, journal, keep track of. Add to your Akashic record. Look into your Akashic record. Travel through all the lifetimes that you need to get very acquainted with yourself. And with the Dreamer card there, the 20, it can be scary, yes, at times, to be like, wait, what? Did that just happen? Even if it's not something scary in and of itself, but that it's something you're experiencing. And depending on where you are in the world and the culture you've been raised in, it can be rather taboo. It can definitely be rather taboo. So having that collective to tap into, to tie into. Okay, I wanted this bottom one to come out here. This is more for the assertive energy. We have the Queen of Wands. Look at how beautiful she is. Getting very Phoenix energy here. She is on fire. Oh, Alicia Keys. This girl is on fire. At least she's in the rain. Oh, this girl is on fire. You, the the moment you choose to shine, you will outshine everything and everyone. And that is what this karmic energy around you is. The karmic energies around you. They're like asterisks. They're background noise. They're not key players. But in you shining your light, they learn that they don't get to take center stage just because they're throwing a tantrum because you're outshining them. Ooh, it's so saucy, that energy. We have the Seven of Spheres in the upright. Ooh, Seven of Pentacles. Watching all of this grow is the typical, like some energies watching the harvest. But this card, like that is like Mother Nature is breaking out of her chains and she is letting her energy, her will be known. Yet the tree is still there. It's everything around the tree that she has a problem. That she is letting her displeasure be known. This is very grounded in the physical. Ooh. Yet there is a figure at the base of this tree waiting, trying to hold the door open, watching all of this happen. This, I feel, is this masculine energy, this King of Wands, especially this King of Pentacles, but very, yeah, this is the masculine energy here. If you identify as this part of the reading, yeah, you're choosing to manifest actively. You're assertively choosing to be receptive, to holding this open, this doorway to the base of the tree open. And yeah, Mother Nature is letting herself be known. And Mother Nature, I feel, Gaia is right here. And you are not just a child of the divine, of the stars, of the universe, of the sky. You are a child of Gaia, of Mother Earth. As above, so below. You are the conduit through which the stars get to commune in you with Gaia, with Mother Nature. And she is awake and she is letting her opinion be known. So this assertive energy, yeah, you don't, like, your choice is being observed, it's being heard, it's being valued, and all that fire, you should be able to expect some passionate forward motion, forward movement from a receptive energy within you and outside of you. Okay. We have the Hangman. Okay, this to me is saying this is the balance within you as well as within them, because it's happening to both of you. It's coming full circle. It's coming full circle. You have learned what you decided to hang upside down from the tree for. This is shaman initiation. Like Odin, when he hung upside down from the tree and he sacrificed one of his eyes, and he laid there, he hung there for so long, and he gained the wisdom that he sought. You have gained the wisdom that you sought in your sacrifice. For sight, for wisdom, for knowledge, your sacrifice was time, energy, emotional, physical, mental. You have definitely paid a price to receive this and unlock this knowledge in yourself in this lifetime. And this is happening on both sides. You both have paid a price for this. You may have both your eyes still, but it could be something like years of your life processing this, the stress of it, and the toll it's taken on your body. Now we have the Seven of Swords in the reverse. Very clearly I heard any of these falsehoods and all of these falsehoods, any consequences that you have borne as a result of choosing this, you will be able to not only see the lies for what they are, the illusions, the smoke, the mirrors, the constant chasing your tail, the guilt tripping, the manipulation, the nightmares. Not only do you see them for what they are, but they are no longer allowed to hold true in the physical. So if you've suffered, from chronic stress and your cardiovascular system, this is definitely feeling the toll of that. You can expect that the illusion that was placed upon you, not only is it lifted, but the divine is aiding your physical form to be more strengthened. I'm hearing fortitude, endurance, because there is a plan. You have a purpose here. And that fortitude, that endurance, that strength is going to be needed for you to be able to stand in your highest, empowered, and feeling at peace and content. You've been telling the divine over and over and over again, I'm tired. I'm so tired. This is the divine saying, I've heard you, and you won't be so tired. This may take some time, and you have to act towards it. You have to support it. It's not necessarily going to be a snapping of the fingers or one night's rest and you'll be like 20 years younger. You have to provide the foundation for this change to occur, but it will occur if you give to it. Oh, okay. Felt interesting. Do you have anything else for the okay, two. All right, so we have the Knight of Wands in the reverse and the Queen of Swords in the reverse. Okay. Interesting. This to me is speaking to the karmic energy. You may be and may have been in Queen of Swords energy. Maybe you did need to cut some shit out. Maybe you needed to remove some of these illusions, right? But you were actually Queen of Swords in the upright. However, the illusion was that you were in the reverse. That you would be rejecting everything and anything that even remotely appeared to be anything slightly off. What you would do is, if it appeared slightly off, you would call it out and tell it, hey, if you act karmic, I want to treat you karmic. If you are choosing to not fully be present, I'm going to wonder why you're hiding and what you have to hide. And then you allowed them to have a moment to respond. And if they did not respond appropriately, you cut them out. You protected yourself. You defended your energy, showing that you could be trusted with this level of connection to source within you. That you would have boundaries, but you would not be you would do your due diligence. You would not be rash. There's the word. You would not be rash. However, the illusion, the smoke and mirrors, the way that you were being set up to be perceived was as though you weren't balanced. You were a toxic Queen of Swords. This is the energy that I spoke to earlier, where they choose to interpret. They choose to take what you say or do in the worst possible way, and then they feed that interpretation in others. This Knight of Wands in the reverse. This Knight of Wands is protecting something, a future. They're wanting to act towards a future that they passionately want to create. This is the individual that this King of Wands sends out to do his, his most high-profile missions. This is supposed to be a trusted why did I want to say adversary? This is someone that this King of Wands trusts, but they're actually an adversary. Wow. Wow. Okay, so this is their own unhealed shadow. First off, it can definitely be an energy outside of them, but there's a part of them that wanted to trust this Knight of Wands so badly, but this pairs with this Queen of Swords in the reverse as well. This Knight of Wands is someone that would look up to them, a younger version of themselves, if not someone outside of them. And because it's wands, there's passion, there's heat, there's desire. They wanted to manifest this connection that, and it's not lost on me that Seven of Swords fell. That they wanted to cast illusion. They wanted to get in between what is the greatest happiness for this person. They wanted to stop that because they wanted to be in it. They wanted to be the other person in this connection. Why can you not? To these energies, because I know you're watching. If you're not watching directly as someone watching it, you're observing through the person that is listening to this, because you're watching them. Why can't you celebrate being who you are? Why can't you find your own Two of Cups? Why do you have to try to take what doesn't belong to you? If you truly, truly, truly love this King of Wands, why are you trying to warp their will, to harm them, to take their greatest happiness from them? Why are you doing this? Because I'll tell you one thing. The very fact that you're willing to harm someone you claim to care about tells me that you're A, not ready for a connection like this, and B, if you choose to learn from how you behaved in this situation, someday you may be. But if you choose to be bitter and still try to take things from others that don't belong to you, then the divine will have lessons for you. I will say this, as a person who follows my divine, I rebuke that energy. I call judgment on that energy. And on behalf of the individual watching this, know that you're not alone. Know that if you feel that this resonates for you, you can say the very same things to this energy, because they have no right to view, to be observant, to watch, to judge, to take what does not belong to them from you. It is yours. And they can try. They can send you psychic attacks and tell you things like, try to get you to believe that they're more powerful than you. The only power they have is the power you choose to give them. No one can take from you what is yours if you do not believe that they can do so. If any part of you, the faith of a mustard seed can move a mountain, I'm going to tell you right now, this King of Wands is that mountain. He does not do this lightly. He doesn't do this for anyone. He is only willing to do this for himself and those that are already inside. He doesn't let many in. You've already moved the mountain. So this energy here, this negative, this Queen of Wands, this karmic shit, it's nothing. It's nothing to him. His will is so much stronger. He's taken his power back. And if you feel like validated, vindicated by this, if anything, take this as like he's being your cheerleader in this moment. Yeah, we got this. I'm doing something you thought I would never do. Because you know how stubborn you are. You know this masculine energy, being predominantly in masculine, predominantly in assertive energy, is going to be just as stubborn as you. These energies, they don't stand a chance. They don't stand a chance at this point. They have lost. And they know it. They know it. Sir, I want to put this back in the deck because they don't need to have a place on the table. Thank you. Is there anything else that you would like the collective to know before I bring the reading to a close from the assertive deck? Because I don't want to leave space out here on the table specifically for karmic energy. This space is for those that are seeking to know that they've alchemized the pain. They've elevated so far above this karmic crap that doesn't touch them. They get to enjoy taking a ride on Rudolph. Like Santa vibes. Gifts. Surprises. Yep. This card came through in another reading here recently for this collective, and this was and is still a synchrony, for this is anchoring into your physical reality. The challenge may be patience while this happens. The first sign may be something that is far less subtle. You've been dealing with these karmics that have just been throwing temper tantrums because they weren't getting their way. The first sign, which, by the way, there's a number synchronicity here for you. 3, 2, 1. Trinity. Paired. Alpha. Omega. Sometimes a whisper has far more of an impact than a yell or a scream or a shout. This is starting to go up right here. Excuse me. Yeah, so there's an end and a new beginning here. Very clearly, there's light, it's seen, it's known, there's hope, and there's movement towards that. The balance of the light and the dark. And yes, I'm aware that there's a lot of symbolism in this, but it only has power if you choose to own it. It only has power if you choose to own it. If you choose to only see authentic truth, love, light, instead of false light, you have nothing to worry about. As long as you stay in your truth. Know that any obstacle, you're guided. You don't consciously know the way. There are energies around you that do. Trust them. Trust them, because they've been with you through every step, and they got you here. They got you here. Top of the deck, we have the King of Swords. So we have just about every king out here. And we have a king and a queen of wands, a king of swords and a queen of swords. And at the bottom, we have the Six of Cups in the reverse. But to me, this is telling me, because we have 6 energies here a little bit. Like we have 6 of Swords as well here. This is telling me intuitively, especially from the image, that this is going to turn how you view and they view their world on its head. And you're going to suddenly see everything in better focus. Kind of like how when you make like a camera in the old-fashioned way, how it actually ends up showing up on like a projector or whatnot, upside down. It's flipping the reality. So you can see your reality more clearly because you have their input and they have yours. So everything that you didn't see before, you're going to see now. And everything that they didn't see before now, They're going to see far more clearly because they have your perspective. It's seeing in one another's blind spots. This is why this energy has been so powerful. Because you will, through just that knowledge alone within you as a master soul, and you may not be like, twin flame kind of an aspect. You may be a master soul that hasn't separated yet into two separate conscious beings. But you may be in a two separate conscious being master soul dynamic. You guys, you're going to make waves, even if it's just the moment you touch the change around everything around you, the ripples it creates, just because the happiness, the joy, the peace, the passion, it'll have an energetic ripple. You don't have to be famous to affect everything. You can be famous and affect everything. This can be a synchronicity with that, definitely. But wherever you're going, the world is not going to be dealing with as much of these rapids. It's going to be an authentic, balanced, true light. And it is shining. It's coming down for you. Your manifestation is ready. Number 21, 2, 1. That goes with the 3, 2, 1. You may be in the duality, the pair to the alpha, and going into the omega, which is physical. So expect to see some things starting to shift, and enjoy each new beginning, each new creation as these butterflies. You see all these new beginnings come as a result of you choosing to just not give to this negative. And for some of you, I definitely clearly, before I even started this reading, you have firmly quieted them. They just can't reach you. They just can't. All right, do we have any oracle we want to? Yes, clearly they do. Okay. So it's going to be a moonology in closing here. All right. So let's get some moonology cards for closing here. Maybe some powerful affirmations that come through with the cards. Okay. Dancing. All right. New moon, Leo. Okay, so we have Leo twice, clearly, here in this reading, very prominently. New moon in Leo, shine. And this Leo, this King of Wands and Leo is paired with this Two of Swords, the concept of watching. They're watching you approach while they hold the gate open for you. And they know you're coming, and they are, with the sunflowers here, like they're so happy. And if you identify as that King of Wands energy, you are watching this come towards you, and you are so happy. Own it. The more that you own it, the more that it realizes. Do you have any other collective in closing here? Oh, okay. Another Leo. New moon, first quarter moon in Leo. Be humble. This image is resonating with what came through with Gaia. Gaia. The stars, the earth, you. You are the divine and Gaia, co-creating in a physical form. You are a child of the sun, the moon, the stars, yes, but also of earth. I have the sense that she hasn't spoken so clearly to the divine in some time. There hasn't been so many individuals that have been acting as channels, conduits for this communication between the divine and the soul of Gaia. There's incredible gratitude here. Then we have first quarter moon in Taurus. Release control. This to me is saying, allow Gaia and the divine to have a conversation. They're ancient, ancient beings. And yes, it may be happening through you, but instead of feeling like you have to control it and know every aspect of it, just like any relationship, there's some aspects to it that are private, that are just for the two of you. These are ancient, ancient beings. Their souls are old and wise, and they're reconnecting. They're reaffirming familiarity. And you are a conduit. You are a channel. You're a medium through which this is happening. And what a beautiful thing to be able to experience. Yes, I definitely hear the anxiety, and believe me, I can relate to it. You know truth. You know true light from false light. Trust that. You know the Queen of in reverse, the Queen of Swords in reverse, and the Knight of Wands in reverse energy from the King of Wands in the upright, assertively choosing to be receptive. And this King of Pentacles looking to the divinity present in the feminine, in both the as above, so below, the stars as well as Gaia. You know the false light from the true light. Trust that as their child, they love you. But they are grateful that they know you didn't have to choose this. That you are loved, that you are valued. And sometimes the things that you're not allowed to know yet are because they are a gift to not know yet. That it's not a bad thing. And believe me, I understand that sometimes you get to a point where surprises, they've not been good things for you. These are your soul parents. Like, they're not going to hurt you. At this point, they're going to do everything they can to make sure that you know you're loved and you're safe. Okay. Do we have anything else here now that message came through clearly? Okay, so we have the first quarter moon in Libra. It's an invitation to keep your heart open. You may have things come through in incomplete form. Just as we started this reading, okay, I'm getting something. Number synchronicity, 333. This is Trinity. It's not just 33 mastery. It's 333. There's a divine aspect to this. There's a source, a spirit, a guidance, however you choose to relate to that being. In that card's image and what came out clearly at the beginning, if you go back, you can listen to it again, where it's like, okay, I'm getting part of it, but there's a little bit more. And sure, I could get really emotive to this particular bit that has come through, but it's just like in any conversation, someone may start with the problem, the challenge, take a deep breath and go, and follow with some more details to help flesh out the possible solution, the strategy. So in keeping your heart open and not immediately jumping to being upset or angry or defensive, you allow yourself to remain in a state of being within yourself to be able to get the other bits of the information to help you not go to that emotional state. A beautiful way of putting that. Right. Now at the bottom we have push through any insecurity. And if you feel inspired, take action at the top. Cancer and Virgo energy. I want to take this time to express my gratitude. Thank you so much for co-creating this beautiful reading with me, for helping others to receive these synchronicities, these messages, this guidance to help them know just how much they are loved, how much they're not alone, that their light matters. Even if they feel surrounded by darkness, the light sees them. The light is definitely acknowledging their presence. And what they need is coming into the physical. 3, 2, 1. Launch. The divine within me, the love within me, honors the divine, the love within you. Namaste.